YouTube, what's going on, people? Checking in with y'all today. Beautiful evening, rolling through Kentucky on this last leg of the trip back home. Let's see, it's Wednesday evening, about 7:30. Should be getting home around 5 a.m. Thursday morning. This load is scheduled to deliver 7:15 Thursday evening down in Gordonsville, Virginia, at the Walmart down there that I've been to multiple times. I've had good experiences and terrible experiences there. Hopefully this is one of the good ones. So I'm gonna get on to the house, get a couple hours of sleep. Got one or two errands I want to run real quick. Then I'm gonna grab my son, and me and JR are gonna ride on down, deliver this load, and then head back home to begin my home time. So this video I want to talk to y'all about how I've been and or why I've been successful in my lease with Prime over the course of the lease, right? Ran into a couple people, a couple guys that watched my channel while I was at the terminal this past weekend, dropping off my last trainee Freddie for his upgrade, and then waiting to get my truck in the shop to get a couple things dealt with. I got two new steer tires, or two new drive tires put on, and supposedly got my APU fixed, which it's fixed, but now the AC ain't working on it. So it's running again, but the AC is not working. It's always something with the APU. But I've had a lot of these questions, or a lot of people ask the same question, reaching out to me via social media, on comments on certain videos, and then people I've ran into in person. And that question has been, been watching your videos and everything, learned a lot, but how is it that you've been successful? Like, can you share some things with me about, so that I can basically follow your path, more or less, right? The biggest thing, it all comes back to one thing, one trait, and that's just being consistent. Consistency. It's the biggest reason for my success, right? And that applies to everything. Work ethic, out here on the road, being consistent in how I handle my business out here. Home time is a huge thing. How you manage your home time. With great power comes great responsibility, right? That's the same. I came out here from being local. I refused to be a company driver. I refused to have my home time dictated to me, approved or denied by a dispatcher or a company. I wasn't going to do it. So leasing was the only option for me to come out here, right? Because I wanted to be in complete control of when I went home, how often I went home, and how long I stayed home. But with that, like I said, comes responsibility. You can't run for 2 weeks and then take 2 weeks off. Even with the best of situations at home, as far as expenses go, that's just not a good business model, because you're not going to make enough money in those 2 weeks to basically account for whatever expenses you may have at home, in conjunction with the expenses that are going to accrue with the truck over it sitting still for 2 weeks, right? So home time is a big deal. Being consistent in how you deal with it, how you take it, when you take it, how often you take it, and how long you take it for. I made a video about 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I think it was titled Finesse the Game, or I can't remember, Finesse the Game, some shit like that. And basically I just talked about how I deal with home time, man, because sometimes you don't have to actually take home time to get home. I mentioned in a video I did last week, me and my trainee were able to get home over the course of a 3-week span. We were home every weekend for between 24 and 36 hours underneath a load. That's not scheduled home time. We were en route to a delivery, right? And that's something I did countless times when I was running solo. And when I run solo, I train as much as I can, but sometimes you got to run solo until another trainee becomes available. And if I'm passing through the crib, if I'm passing through Virginia, and the load I have, the time that it has on it to deliver, if it allows me to get home for a 10-hour break, 16 hours, 20, 24, 36 hours, whatever, oh yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home underneath that load en route to delivery. You know what I mean? So that's a way to supplement home time, so that, cause it just like, it's a quick recharge. If you've been out on the road for 2 weeks and I'm able to get home. If I've been out for 2 weeks and I can get home for like underneath the load for like 24 hours, right? 24 to 36 hours. That's a quick little recharge. You know what I mean? It cuts up it breaks up the monotony. And then when you actually take home time, you know, look, you got to monitor your money, see how much money you've made, and basically factor in, okay, how long can I be home before it's really going to affect me, right? Financially. So being consistent and dealing with that is a huge reason as to why I've been successful. Money management, right? I got to give a shout out to my dude King D Raj, because I felt like I was doing a good job, but I spoke with him on the phone probably about a year and a half ago, and he just gave me some advice about how he handles things, and you know, different accounts he has set up to you know, save money and whatever, just to basically keep things on track. And I took his advice and I put it into practice, and it's really helped me out. So thought I was doing right before, but after taking the advice, you know, that he shared with me and putting it into practice, man, I'm doing a lot better managing my finances, right? That's a big deal, because if you're not managing your money right, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. I mean, to be honest, my trainer, when I was had to do my 15,000 miles, situations he had going on back at home, man, this dude was sending a lot of money home to his then fiance, now ex-wife, and I just looking like, dude, she's calling me like every other day asking for money. You know what I mean? Mismanaging his money. Situation didn't work out well for him. The most important factor is out here on the road and working, being consistent in how you approach the task at hand. You want to build, and this is a two-way street. You want to build a good relationship and rapport with your fleet manager, as do they with you. I know, specifically speaking on Prime, your fleet manager is paid and penalized according to their driver's performances. So with that said, if you got a driver that's trash, right? Late to his appointments, late to his deliveries, oversleeping, stopping more than he should, or he or she should, you know. And I'm just gonna say he. I'm gonna keep the buck with y'all. I've been called out by my fleet manager, by sales, to repower loads for drivers who, for whatever reason, we're not gonna make the delivery. There are reasons that are out of your control. Shippers hold you up, traffic, accidents, things like that. But I'm talking specifically, there have been a couple of drivers that I was asked to repower their loads where sales were just completely confused as to why they were gonna miss their appointment time. Picked up the load with more than enough time to get delivered, didn't run into any circumstances out of their control to delay them or slow them down, but yet they're gonna miss their appointment time. And it was always a guy. It was always a man. It was never a female. So shout out to the ladies, because they seem to be on their P's and Q's out here. Whenever I had to go and repower a load for somebody that just messed up, it's always been a dude. So but why would the fleet manager give that guy the load, that a priority load or a high value load or just a really good paying load, when that guy's not trustworthy? They're not consistent. If they're consistent in anything, they're consistently bad. They're not going to give you the good paying loads. I've shown all my trainees every load that I've got, how much it pays. So they see, right? They've all seen like, man, okay, this load's paying this much, or that's good money. And it's like, oh man, Jamal, you're making real good money. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a result of the consistency that I've shown in just getting the job done, doing it the right way, no hiccups, no delays, not rarely ever being late, picking up or delivering. I have been once or twice, things happen out of your control, you know, but rarely being late, always getting the load there, safe and sound, no damages or anything like that. That was my fault, meaning no pallets turned over. You know, sometimes boxes get messed up by the forklift drivers putting them on or taking them off. That's not my problem, but never have any issues like that. So that's why I'll get the good paying loads, as opposed to one of the guys I mentioned that I had to repower earlier. They're not going to give that guy, they got a load. Let's say the fleet manager has 3 loads available. One of them is going 1,200 miles, paying $3,500 or $4,000. And then you got another loader that's going 900 miles, paying $1,100. which one do you think he's gonna give to the consistently trash driver? You're not gonna get the great paying load because he don't want to take the risk of you messing it up. He gonna get a lower paying load. Hell, you might be lucky if you get the 900 mile, $1,200 load. He might find something to give you something 500 miles for $600. You see what I'm saying? Whereas with me, it's like, look, between my fleet manager and the sales department, because like I said, they've reached out to me before as well. Hey man, can you help us out with this load? This driver messed up, or we got a priority load. It needs to get picked up and delivered ASAP. You know, it's not much time on it. Can you help us out with that? All right, no problem. Pick it up, get it delivered on time. You know what I mean? I've done that multiple times to the point where they'll just call and be like, man, look, we really appreciate your help. Can you help us out one more time? This, that, and the third. We got you on the back end, or we'll throw a couple $100 extra on it for you helping us out. Things like that play a big role into why I've been successful here at Prime, right? So, you know, consistency with everything, man. There's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, there's gonna be good weeks, good days. There's gonna be bad weeks, bad days. You just can't get frustrated and make, you know, uneducated decisions. All right, you can't up and bounce because things didn't go well for 2 or 3 days, or you had a bad week or two, and now, you know, oh, I can't even be here no more. You know, one of my younger brothers, this is an issue that he's had in his throughout the last several years of his life working. He gets upset with one person and quits. You know what I mean? Or this person says something to me and I want to fight. It's like, dude, you've had so many jobs that you've lost or quit over dumb stuff. It's not a good track record to have. You know what I mean? It shows that you are not consistent, you're not trustworthy, you're not reliable. You're applying for a job and they look at your work history and you had freaking 15 jobs over the last 2 years. Odds are they're not gonna bring you in. You know what I mean? That's what I told my little brother. Like, bro, you gotta get consistent, man. You gotta get a job and stay there, man. It's gonna be good and bad everywhere you go. No place is perfect. That place does not exist. And the only way to get that place is to build it yourself. Hence why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, with that said, that's been the reason, the biggest factor into my success thus far over the course of my 2.5 years out here in a lease with Prime. Just being consistent in everything that I do. So, with that said, man, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out. Appreciate y'all, as always, for watching, subscribing, everything related to that. And as always, man, y'all know what it is. Until next time, y'all be easy.